Hey guys, give me 1 second. I needed to charge my phone and let me just see if I'm here. I set an alarm to warn me when it was almost time, and my husband just yelled up at me and said, "Hey, are you going live now tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I set the alarm," realizing that I set it for 5:50, not 6:50. So a lot of good it did me. So good afternoon, good evening. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I got all situated. Woo, I got it. Thanks for joining me tonight. So here's tonight's card. Hey Karen, hey Mary, thanks for joining. If you're on, give me a shout out. As I said, this is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Minn, Missouri. Hey Susan, hey Angie. If you guys just got on, you missed the fun. I was a little late getting going, so not too bad. Maybe 2 minutes. All right. So here's tonight's card. I'm using the Simply Zinnia or Flowering Zinnia Suite. So this is an online exclusive. Hey Carol, thanks for joining. Part of the reason that I'm doing this product tonight is because online exclusives are going to be released to demonstrators this week. So if you love some of the images that you're going to be seeing, we're going to have new stuff this week, and you can, as a demonstrator, you get to grab that stuff early. So if that's something that interests you, give me a shout out. Let me know. There's going to be a bundling sale this weekend where the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine as well as Stampin' Die bundles are on sale, 10% off. So it's a great time to join. So if you're interested, give me a shout out. Somebody told me yesterday that I should make a a Dutch door card. So Rosie, this one's for you. So here's today's card using the Simply Zinnia, and I did a double door Dutch card. I'll be honest, I have never made one of these, so this was kind of fun. So let's get to it. All right, so I've done a lot of die cutting ahead of time. We're going to do a little bit of stamping, and this is a piece of Pretty in Pink cardstock that I die cut with the Radiating Stitches dies, not realizing that they're not available anymore. So that's the one thing about those online exclusives is they are while supplies last. So sometimes they stick around for a long time, sometimes they don't. And I love this die set. So sorry if you missed out on it, but that just shows you that you got to get in there. So I've got Thank you so much. This is from the Simply Zinnia stamp set, and I'm going to ink this up with a Melon Mambo. So this is going on the front. I'm just going to, because this is a cling stamp, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it here just to make sure that I have it set up pretty straight. Hey, Vicki, thanks for joining. I'm going to give that. There we go. All right, what else have I got today here? Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side a little bit. And I'm going to bring in Pretty in Pink. And I have a piece of 4 inches by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. So I'm going to stamp up this big, large Zinnia stamp set. And then I'm going to stamp it one time on my paper. Hey, Amy, thanks for joining. And then I'm going to center it in on my basic white. Ooh, don't drop it. These big blocks are kind of hard for me sometimes. And we're just going to do a real light impression of that. Just kind of a shadow effect on there. And now we're going to use that words fail to express my gratitude. And because that's a cling again, I'm just going to stamp it off. Make sure that I've got it fairly straight on my block. And do it right there in the center. Okay, now let's find my envelope. We may not have an envelope tonight because, like I said, here we go. Okay, I got it. Settle down, guys, settle down. That's what I tell my husband all the time. I'm like, settle down, Sparky. All right, so I'm going to ink that up with the Melon Mambo, and I'm just going to do just a small bit on that corner of my envelope. Could have done a little better job pressing in the center, but it's going to be fine. All right, I'm gonna set these stamp sides to the side so I don't get them all grossed up. So I'll set this over to the side, and we are going to start assembling this card. So like I said, this is a double Dutch door. I've never done one of these, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and get this ink off my finger so that I don't ruin everything. And I'm going to go ahead and use some Stampin' Seal and layer this stuff. So this is a heavy card. Hey, Jamie Sue. Ooh. Did I not cut that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3/8. Ooh, it looks like I didn't cut the white right. Let's see here. This should be fun. 5 1/4. Let's take that off right there. I knew that was gonna happen. That'll work. All right, now let's get that adhered. So this is pretty heavy because I've got lots of layers on here, but I think that Granny Apple Green peeking out from the Melon Mambo is just perfect. These are some bright summer, beautiful summer flowers. And now I'm gonna layer this Flowering Zinnia DSP to some Granny Apple Green. And I did a little bit of different I'm gonna do it a little different. My original had this white, but I decided that since I was covering up most of it, I probably needed a bolder, wilder pattern to go with that. Now these are 2 by 1 7/8. So I'm gonna layer them first and make sure I have them sitting right before I start gluing willy-nilly. All right. Okay, so now we've got all of our layers. Let's go to building our card. Okay. Let's see if I can't find that score tool now. Okay. So I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 8 3/4. I'm going to put it on my Simply Score tool, and I'm going to bring out my take your pick tool, maybe. That has the stylus end on it. Dun, dun, dun. It looks like I probably set it in a safe place, but that's okay because I have one that I can change out here. All right, so we're gonna score this at 5 1/2. And I'm using that score tool again just because you know I really like those deep burnishes. This is a piece of 2 1/4 by 8 1/2. And let's see if I can not mess this up. 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. So there's the bigger line. So if these are scored in 1/8 inches, so I really need to just count 3 over from 6. 1, 2, 3. So it's in between that quarter and that half mark is where we're gonna go. Okay. Now I'm done with that score tool. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take my bone folder, if I can find it. Why is nothing where it's supposed to be? There it is. It's hiding behind an ink pen. Okay, so I'm gonna fold this one in and give it a burnish. I'm gonna fold this one in and give this one a burnish. And what you will see is this is kind of like that gatefold that we did, I think, last week. It's just gonna meet right there in the middle and pop it open. So we'll go ahead and put our little layers on this piece. And what I wanna do is I wanna make sure, yeah, that it's going in the same direction. So I'm giving that just a little bit of edge on each side. We're going to flip that way. And we're going to flip. There we go. Okay, so you've got your lines going exactly the same direction, which is what we want. All right, now we're going to take that card base and we're going to burnish that. And I'm done. Nope, I'm not done with that bone folder. And we're going to put this little wilder print here from that Simply Zinnia, or Flowering Zinnia DSP. So we're going to line that up, giving just that little bit of margin out there with your mat. And I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus on this. So if you've got tear tape, use that. Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm using this more than I am the tear tape just because it's right here. I'm going to do 3 little jobbers there. I'm going to fold it shut and I'm going to line it in one corner and make sure that it's right there lined up there. And I'm going to flip it over and make sure that it's nice and even on each side and at the top. So that's what's creating our Dutch doors. Now we can use our regular seal and put the inside in. All right. Got your margins right there. That nice little peekaboo. Doesn't that greeny apple green and that melon mambo just match perfectly? I love it. Okay, now I am going to use Stampin' Seal Plus on this one. I'm turning it over, making sure that I'm putting it at the top, and I'm just doing 2 little strips. The reason we're using the Seal Plus is because it's a little bit stronger, and with this being the opening, I wanted to have a little extra there. So I'm going to line this up and give it a nice little burnish. So there's our card base. So now let's get to the fun stuff. Okay. So I've done some die cutting ahead of time. I've got some Highland Heather that I cut with the Simply Zinnia dies. And I'm going to bring in a blending brush and add in a little bit, because if you look at your DSP, you've got definitely some Highland Heather. That, in my opinion, looks like Pretty Petunia. Petunia Pop, and then Blackberry Bliss. Man, that's a mouthful. So I'm going to ink that up and just give it kind of some ink right there on the edges. And I'm just giving it a real light, making it darker on the edges, giving it just a little bit, because those flowers, there's not one color. You need that multicolor in there. So thanks, Rosie. Yep, pop over there on YouTube and give me a subscribe there. Yeah, Mary, I love this fold. It's the first time I've ever done it, but it is fun. And I don't think this is going to be the last one I make. I don't think it's as adventurous as the one you did last night. That one made my head spin. All right, giving it a little bit of that Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just taking it from the end and then rubbing it down. So you can see most of the ink is actually landing on my mat, but that's okay. Okay, give that a little swirl, throw it over here. We're done with this piece. I bet it did, Mary. That one was a brave one. Okay, I've got some pumpkin pie, and I'm going to take out these 2 centerpieces. These are cut with crushed curry, and I'm going to add some pumpkin pie ink just to give it a little bit more color. And these little stars look so cute with the orange. And I like to put quite a bit of ink on like the edge. Just to give it that pop. And if you don't have these blending brushes, they come in a pack of 3. I prefer the smaller ones over the larger ones. I have smaller hands. You kind of saw me struggle a little bit with that big block. So that's what I like, the smaller one. Okay, now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to break up some of these fibers just by turning this a little bit. And I'm pulling it back. So I'm putting my thumb over the leaf and just kind of pulling it. And that helps break up those fibers. This is going to give some curl to that flower. So we can definitely have just a little more dimension. And you'll want to do it a couple of times. Break it up. And then that way when we add it, it kind of just pops up. Nobody wants flat flowers. All right, here we go. Now, this is going to be the hardest part in my opinion, is trying to decide how I want these flowers to lay. Because in the perfect world, one would go in between each one. Or in Terra Land, I guess I should say, not in a perfect world. So I kind of like it like that. So I'm going to lay that back and add a little bit of liquid adhesive. And this is a brand new tube of liquid adhesive, so it's just asking for me to make a mess with it. Okay, give that a whirl. Kind of twist it the way you like it. There we go. That's where I like it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is take a dimensional and put it smack dab in the middle of it, if I can find one. Here we go. And all these dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow, so don't worry about writing any of that stuff down. I'm going to kind of put that right there in the middle. And then if I push it, you can kind of see how it pops that flower out just a little bit. Now we're going to add the center with liquid adhesive. And like I said, this is a new tube, so little. With liquid adhesive, it's definitely less is more. I have that problem. I get a little heavy-handed. So I'm just going to kind of dot that along. Here we go. And then, there we are. I'm using my tweezers because that helps me keep the glue off my fingers. It doesn't always work that way. Okay, now I'm going to try to decide where I want this leaf here. I feel like I kind of like it right there. Now you can always cut the bottom of it off if you don't need all of that. But we're going to glue that right there. And then we're going to put this one right up here. About there. So it's going to hang off the top just a little bit. So I'm just going to do just a little bit of liquid adhesive here. I'm going to lift this leaf up. Oop. Man, greeny apple green is my favorite color, I think. It's my favorite color today, I should say. I would say it's between it and Old Olive if it's my favorite green, but I really think it's my favorite green. Okay, now I'm just piecing this zinnia together, and we're going to glue that down to the bottom. Look at all this liquid adhesive I'm using tonight, guys. It's not like me at all. All right. There we go. There's our flower. Now we can add a few embellishments and we'll be done. Super fun card. Maybe we'll add embellishments. Like I said, I kind of got a little carried away tonight. And here we go. I've got iridescent adhesive back dots. If Tim hadn't called up, I would have been getting text messages like crazy and my phone wouldn't have been anywhere near me because it was on the charger. I would have been... Okay. So I'm going to put 5 here. So I'm going to put 2 groups of 2 and then 1 by itself because we want to use that power of the odds. Let's do 1 right there. All right, so there's tonight's card. We'll finish up with our stamped envelope and then we'll be done. So I will be back here next Tuesday night. Don't forget, online exclusives go on sale this week for demonstrators if you're interested in grabbing some of that stuff. We've had a couple of sneak peeks, so it looks like we've got some fall stuff coming. We've got some Christmas stuff coming. So if you want some new Christmas stuff and start some Christmas cards, give me a shout out. I'd love to have you on my team. And if you don't have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss, it's a perfect time to get that one for like 99 bucks because you could throw it in your starter kit. And I think with it being on sale, there might be a little bit left over for like a pack of dimensionals or something. Maybe even more. I haven't done the math yet. But they're $130. You save 10%, so that means $13 off. So what's that? 130, 100 and something. And the starter kit's $125. All right. Here's tonight's card. Thank you so much. I'll be back next Sunday night. Sorry for the frazzle tonight. Have a good one and we'll have a great week.